on the streets of Cincinnati after police release graphic new video from a deadly showdown between a cop and a suspect who is now dead. Welcome to the Kelly File, everyone. I'm Megan Kelly. Today, 25-year-old University of Cincinnati Police Officer Ray Tensing surrendering after he was indicted for murder. Tensing is charged with intentionally killing 43-year-old Samuel DeBose during a routine traffic stop on July 19th. We are going to show you Officer Tensing's body camera video. You will see and hear what happened right before and during the shooting. In this clip, the officer asks the man he is arresting, who he will ultimately shoot, for his driver's license. The situation escalates quickly. There's a brief struggle and a fatal shot.
I'm asking you a direct question. Do you have your license on?
What did you put me on for?
Again, the front tag.
What is that license on the front tag?
Okay. Actually, I'm going to ask you again. You have a license on?
I have a license. You can run my name.
Okay. Is that not on you then?
I don't think I have it on.
Be straight up with me. Are you suspended?
No, I'm not suspended.
You want to have your license on you?
I don't like suspended. I'm sorry, bro. I'm just going around.
Okay. What do you say? Down here? Okay. Well, until I can figure out if you have a license or not, go ahead and take your seatbelt off for me.
I didn't even do that.
Go ahead and take your seatbelt off.
That's where it happens. This is the latest in a series of incidents spawning a national political debate over race and policing in America. Some of the cases we have seen show law enforcement crossing a line, others do not. Tonight we examine the facts of this case, which is causing a national outrage and uproar, and we will let you decide. We are joined by former LAPD homicide detective Mark Furman and Richard Fowler, but we begin with Trace Gallagher, who has been studying this video all afternoon and breaks it down for us here. Trace?
And Megan, while announcing the murder indictment, the Hamilton County, Ohio prosecutor called the traffic stop, quote, a chicken crap stop, and said he has no doubt it was murder. The Cincinnati police chief also claims University of Cincinnati Police Officer Ray Tensing was wrong. Tensing pulled over Samuel DeBose a few blocks away from campus for not having a front license plate. The officer repeatedly asked DeBose for his driver's license. Watch again.
So, do you not have your license on you? I'm asking you a direct question. Do you have your license on?
I thought I did on. What did you put me on for?
At one point, when he's asked about a bottle inside the car, DeBose pulls out what appears to be a full bottle of gin. Then, after being asked one final time for his driver's license, things quickly go bad. Watch.
Well, until I can figure out if you have a license or not, go ahead and take your seatbelt off for me.
I didn't even do that.
Go ahead and take your seatbelt off.
You hear the rev of the engine? From the rev of the engine to the fatal gunshot is less than 3 seconds, but a fellow officer says Tensing told him, quote, after at some point he began to be dragged, that he was almost run over by the driver of the Honda Accord and was forced to shoot the driver. Tensing told his attorney, quoting here, I thought I was going to get sucked under the car and run over, but the video doesn't appear to support that claim. Now take one more look at this.
Well, until I can figure out if you have a license or not, go ahead and take your seatbelt off for me.
I didn't even do that.
Go ahead and take your seatbelt off.
Then the gunshot. Tensing lawyer says video from another officer's body camera tells a different story, and you can see in the distance it appears that Officer Tensing was knocked to the ground, though the prosecutor says he was knocked back by firing the gun. As for Samuel DeBose, he did have a pretty lengthy criminal record, including a reported 70 different arrests for non-violent crimes. DeBose was also the father of 10 children. Megan.
Trace, thank you. Joining us now with more, Mark Furman, who's a Fox News contributor and former LAPD homicide detective, and Richard Fowler, who is a nationally syndicated radio host. And so now, in this case, Richard, they have charged the cop. They've charged him with murder, which his lawyer says is an overcharge, that they've gone too far. And you say?
I say that his lawyers are wrong, and the prosecutor and the grand jury is right here. If you look at this video, and I watched it and I studied it over and over and over again, Megan, even in the situation where the quote-unquote Mr. Dubois sort of pushed the gas and tried to run away, that video doesn't show that at all. I mean, the car would be a lot farther down the road. Not to mention the fact that even if that is true or not true, not having a license, driver's license, or even having an open bottle of alcohol in the car is not a death sentence by any stretch or means of the imagination.
Mark, do you disagree?
Well, there's many things to agree with and some things to just argue. I mean, first thing is yes, it was a CS stop. It was a probable cause stop. He wanted to stop the car, so he found a reason. He stops the car. He's polite. He demands things lawfully. Where it goes sideways is you can see the right hand of the driver. He starts the car. The left hand, he struggles with the officer. The officer's trying to open the door. He shuts it. He speeds off. Gunshot goes off. I suspect that what occurred here is as he was working against the driver pulling the door shut and him trying to open it, he's going for his weapon and it discharges. Then he tries to make an accidental shooting, a probable cause shooting, a justified shooting, and I think that's where it went sideways.
If you listen to the tape after the fact, you hear this cop saying to the other cops repeatedly, I thought he was going to run me over. I thought he was going to run me over. He took off on me. I thought he was going to run me over. He was dragging me. I thought he was going to run me. He was dragging me. My hand was caught inside. The tape does not support that, does it, Richard?
No, the tape doesn't support that at all. And it's like Ronald Reagan says, you got to trust but verify. And the tape verifies that this officer indeed murdered Samuel Du Bois in this particular case.
Okay, but let me ask you that. Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there and say what his lawyer is saying. His lawyer says that I expected a charge, basically, but not a murder charge. And if you watch the tape play out, what you see is a cop who appears to have, I don't know, panicked, behaved. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I see malice aforethought on there. I don't know if I see somebody who has decided to murder another person. Or do you see somebody, Richard, who doesn't know what he's doing and makes a ridiculous decision in the heat of the moment?
Well, I think it's someone who doesn't know what he's doing, but indeed he murdered him here. And if you listen to the prosecutor's the prosecutor's press conference earlier, in the state of Ohio, there's no delineation between, a first-degree charge and a second-degree charge. It's just murder.
Intentional murder.
Straight up. Yeah,
purposeful killing of another. Purposeful killing of another.
Purposeful. I mean, look how fast he pulled that gun out.
But here's the thing, Mark. What we're seeing now is the narrative coming out of this case. See, here they go again. Here the cops go again with just gunning down black people in the middle of the street for no reason.
Well, Megan, I mean, if you're going to cherry pick any case or every case, and then you're going to find cases, and these cases could probably be found for years in covering every race of people and every sex, or both sexes. But I just want to go back to one thing about murder. Let's not get fixated on the word murder. That's an intent crime regardless if Ohio does or doesn't separate first, second, or third degree. But I just want to say one thing about when a vehicle is the weapon in an officer-involved shooting, there's two cardinal rules. You cannot put yourself in danger to have that vehicle be a weapon. In other words, step in front of a car and then claim they're trying to run you down. Mm-hmm. And then the next one is, if the vehicle is leaving and the threat is leaving, game's over.
Mm-hmm. Step away. You don't get to shoot the driver unless it's some serial killer.
Game's over.
Right. Unless you have reasonably, not somebody who's missing the front license plate. But my last question to you is this, Richard. Do you believe here this is an example of the system working? Similar to the way we saw that other cop who was arrested when he shot a black man and then tried to frame him to make it look like he had been coming after the cop. Did the system work here in that these charges have been brought?
Well, here's the thing, and I agree with Mark for once in my life on his explanation about the moving vehicle, but the system is still broken, Megan. I mean, the fact that we even got this far, the fact that this officer shot this African-American unarmed man at point-blank range in the head shows there's something wrong with the entirety of the justice system.
It does?
John,
so it impugns the entire justice system.
Governor Kasich a couple months ago in the state of Ohio created a review board to deal with this matter, to reform the justice system. The reformations start from bottom up, from the police officer making the routine stop.
So you think somebody's sending a message to that cop that it's okay to murder somebody for missing a front license plate if he feels scared in the encounter?
Well, like I said, the whole system is broken, Megan. the whole system.
I gotta go. Great to see you both. Sorry, Mark. We'll get to it next time. Thanks for being here.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we learned just a short while ago that search teams are going to